We generally view artificial intelligence as a sophisticated office assistant. The prevailing assumption is that these models exist to help us clear our inboxes, draft reports, and navigate complex spreadsheets more efficiently. This assumption overlooks where AI actually excels. Because the technology specializes in pattern recognition and language processing, the most vulnerable roles are actually the high-level careers once considered safe. Finance, law, encoding, and middle management are the primary targets because their core outputs are the very things AI does best. Public discussions often focus on whether we should regulate the speed of development or if corporations should choose to slow down. These debates assume that AI adoption is a voluntary choice made by executives. In reality, the integration of AI is a requirement of the market itself. It is a mathematical outcome of competition that remains indifferent to social policy or public opinion. To understand why this process is effectively automated, we have to look at the single rule governing every modern firm, the requirement to maximize profit. The math is simple. Profit equals revenue minus costs. To survive, a CEO must make that profit grow. When we break down the costs ledger, human labor consistently appears as the largest recurring expense. Payroll and benefits are the primary variables preventing higher margins. Within this system, the drive to eliminate labor is an economic necessity. As long as a business must compete to survive, reducing the cost of human work becomes a primary objective. Human labor is limited by physical reality. We require sleep, medical benefits, and time off. AI, by contrast, scales through simple computation. It provides a workforce that operates constantly, learns from every interaction, and can be duplicated instantly. Imagine two identical competitors, Company A and Company B, splitting a market. Company A adopts AI, slashing internal costs. This allows them to lower prices, rapidly seizing territory. Company B's market share and stock price drop. Investors lose confidence in the unmodernized firm. At this point, Company B has no choice. They must automate their workforce to match the efficiency of Company A or face complete bankruptcy. This cycle creates a self-reinforcing loop across every industry. When one firm gains an advantage through automation, every competitor is pressured to follow. The choice to keep human staff becomes a liability that the market eventually punishes. As this competitive pressure spreads, the speed of adoption increases. What began as automating simple tasks quickly moves into more complex territory. This progression leads to a concept known as the generalized economic agent. This is the point where the automation of individual tasks evolves into the automation of the entire organization. As AI models begin to manage other AI systems, human oversight starts to look like a bottleneck. Eventually, the software responsible for logistics and data analysis also takes over capital allocation and executive strategy. This creates a firm where 99% of the operations are handled by code. The remaining 1% of human involvement is reduced to legal formalities or final signatures. The profit motive effectively removes the human element from the corporate structure. The system optimizes for efficiency until the very people it was built to serve are no longer part of the equation. If we step back from the individual company, we can see the entire global economy as a single interconnected loop. The first half of this cycle is straightforward. Companies pay wages to workers in exchange for labor. In the second half, those workers become consumers. They spend wages to buy products, creating the revenue that fuels corporate profit. This loop is a closed system. The worker and the consumer are the same person. For the economy to function, money must flow through both halves of the circle. Now, we apply the AI efficiency upgrade to this system. Companies successfully eliminate their payroll costs to maximize profit, and the downward flow of wages stops. This reveals a critical paradox. By optimizing their internal costs, corporations remove the income their customers need to buy their products. The loop breaks because the consumer side of the equation has no capital to return to the top. We reach a state where corporations can produce goods with near-zero labor costs, but they have no one to sell them to. Demand collapses because the paycheck has been engineered out of existence. This systemic breakdown is the result of individually rational choices. Game theory dictates that each company must automate to survive, even though the collective result is the destruction of the market they compete in. The current economic model is reaching a mathematical limit. Our challenge is to move past the debate of whether AI is good or bad and begin designing a new architecture for an economy that no longer relies on human labor to distribute value.